I had a life-changing experience, which was getting to know Ha-Joon Chang and reading his work. And to sort of boil down what the impact he had in a number of fora, just by going back and looking at the historical record on a bunch of policies. And he wrote this fantastic book called Kicking Away the Ladder. And I asked him recently which book he was most proud of, and he said it's still that one, even though his other books have sold far more since. Where he just went in and found what now developed countries had done to develop in terms of trade policy. And basically what they'd done were all the things that developing countries were being told in the early 2000s to not do by the WTO, by the World Bank. And it had an extraordinarily liberating power. I saw him perform in Geneva in front of an enormous number of developing country delegates. And it was a kind of cathartic moment when they suddenly realized that their kind of gut feeling about what they wanted to be allowed to do with trade policy was completely justified by the rise of Germany, the rise of America. The US invented industrial policy, and that this had all been kind of airbrushed out in favor of maths. So instead of looking at the historical record, what you had was a bunch of number crunchers using CGE models, doing rubbish in, rubbish out, and saying, if you liberalize everything, the world will be $1 trillion better off. And so there was this, history had been replaced by voodoo modeling. And actually, we even got the inventor of CG models, Lance Taylor, to write a paper explaining why the models were completely unjustified and rubbish, and we shouldn't be listening to them. And you still read them in The Economist. You know, those big numbers of what a successful Doha round would lead to, blah, blah, blah. It's still out there, but the history is a far better guide to what's actually worked.